This is First Alert Weather Now.
Hello and welcome to the Friday night edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist Thompson.
I'm meteorologist Rickman.
And it was another warm one again. We just can't seem to break this streak of exceptional temperatures for late January, which is not a problem for me at least.
I was going to say, for those who like being outside and enjoy being outside when you're not bundled up like Ralphie's little brother from A Christmas Story, it really is pleasant. Nice weather. It feels like the southern U.S. right now. But for those who are wanting that snow, of course, it's a little bit of a headache for them.
For sure, and it came on the heels of some rain that we saw this morning, but we don't have a ton of precipitation, at least in the immediate future. Some more later down the line.
Right. Slight chance as we go through the weekend. We'll break down all the details of that coming up. Again, emphasis on slight. We are in for a nice weekend, but before we get there, we do have tonight that we're going to be worrying about, and we'll talk about that right now in What You Need to Know. As we go through our overnight hours, we are going to be keeping things dry and mostly clear. Clouds have pushed out as well as rain from earlier today, and we're going to be keeping things mild. Of course, it'll be a little chilly tonight with those lows in the 20s, but keep in mind, 20s are typically where we should be for high temperatures at this time of year. So compared to average, very mild. We'll keep it that way on Saturday, and you could call it warm on Sunday. In fact, we'll be approaching record high temperatures in some places. And then we are keeping a generally active weather pattern as we get into next week. And then the following weekend, we do have a couple of storm systems that we're keeping an eye on. Could bring us some chances for some rain or some snow as we look ahead towards next week. Right now, as we look over our Solon City Cam, winds are out of the north on the backside of that front, but the air that came in behind that front still is very mild compared to where we should be at this time of year. Because of that, temperatures are in the 30s in Waterloo, 40s elsewhere across eastern Iowa, and you can see hardly a cloud to be found. Everybody's enjoying a nice clear night, and we'll continue to see that as we go through the rest of our night, and those temperatures fall through the 30s, again bottoming out into the 20s by the time we get to your Saturday morning, which is about where we should be for high temperatures at this time of year.
Yeah, for sure. Decent set of temperatures, at least as we look over the next little while. We've been so lucky lately.
Yes, very much so. And that luck does continue into our weekend. And if you have anything that you would like to go outside and do for the nice weather, we have Joe Winters with your forecast for fun.
Mild weather is out there, but that's going to continue as we head into the weekend, giving us a chance to get out for some fun. Take a look at your forecast for fun, beginning with our ski report. Still plenty of skiing going on. Temperatures overnight have been cold enough to keep those bases, as you can see, from about 22 to 40 inches. Lots of runs open wherever you want to ski across Iowa or the upper Midwest. Still some great time. And Sunday, I'll tell you, a mild day. Should be a nice day on the slopes. Still tonight, you can head out and see the owl prowl. A little time left. Temperatures have been mild. You can call in the owls. That's up the Osborne Nature Center. I'm on Ice Arena. The puck drops at 7:05. That's quick. Saturday night, Fargo's in town. Same puck drop. Looks quiet if you're going to go to the game as well. Watch those Saturday evening where you may see just a little bit of a wintry mix. Let's not forget the ice fishing tournament at Center Junction, Jones County Central Park. It's the 8th annual Freeze Out Childhood Cancer. That's what the fishery will benefit. Kids only zone. They've got big fish prizes as well. Temperatures in the mid to upper 30s with more clouds than sunshine. Maybe you want to do some nature-themed trivia. That's happening 6 to 8:30. Of course, that's at the Indian Creek Nature Center. About 39 degrees. You can test your knowledge of plants, wildlife, and habitats. Don't forget you can also win some prizes. That should be a blast. And of course, Iowa State men's basketball Saturday. Tip-off is at 1 o'clock. And don't forget the women's game on Sunday. Caitlin Clark jersey retirement. 54 degrees outside Kinnick. That's how things are going to shape up in our forecast for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Thompson.
A wet start to the day, and a wet finish to yesterday, too, led to some pretty healthy rainfall totals south of Highway 30. North of there, it was hard to come by. Just 2/100ths of an inch in Dubuque. Waterloo officially came away with nothing. Cedar Rapids at the airport about 2/10, and Iowa City at their airport about ½ an inch. Now it's south of there, Washington and Fairfield, that beat that 1 inch mark. Certainly a wet weather system for January, which is, of course, the driest month of the year typically. Now, our Cassville City Cam tonight, just look at the flag in the flagpole. That is not moving too much out there. Those winds have become lighter. Cassville last reported officially at 10 miles per hour. With those temperatures in the upper 30s to low 40s, wind chill not as big of a factor as we go into the night. Now, over the next 24 hours, winds will pick up a little bit. We have it highlighted here in green on your first alert. Not terribly disruptive for most folks, but those gusts could get into the range of 30 miles per hour. And So we do want you to just have that in mind if you're planning on being outdoors tomorrow. Now, among the weekend may actually be Sunday. That's the better chance to be outdoors as conditions should continue to improve. Satellite and radar view tonight, though, shows the clear skies that we are experiencing and anticipating for the next few hours. A few clouds starting to enter north central and northwest Iowa, and you see them here tonight on our setup, but they will be fairly thin and hard to come by, at least as we go through the morning hours of your Saturday. It's your first alert forecast overnight. Temperatures down into the 20s, 27 in Mount Pleasant, 23 in Manchester. Our normal lows for the end of January and start of February still in the low teens. So we are far from that, and that warm start will mean a warm finish. That's despite what will be increased cloud cover and that somewhat cooler air mass behind that frontal system earlier today. So our highs range from 38 in Prairie du Chien to 45 in Oskaloosa. Mostly cloudy is how we'll characterize it, but that will be a trend that we'll feel later in the day than earlier. So overnight, mostly clear is how we're expecting things to be. A few scattered clouds by the time you wake up, but still a decent amount of sunshine coming through them. They'll be at the mid and high levels initially. Eventually, we do see some thicker clouds build in, and by tomorrow evening, we'll be watching for that chance for precipitation that AJ talked about. Here's a little bit of rain developing in central Iowa, moves to the northeast and becomes at least scattered light rain or snow showers. Now, this should be pretty limited in how much there is, but there's the chance that we could see a few slick spots develop. So if you have Saturday evening plans, we just want you to take a look before you head out, especially if you're headed out on the open road, just in case there's any sort of issue there. But as we go toward the rest of Saturday night and Sunday morning, southerly flow stays with us, and so that will help set up that warm day to wrap up the weekend. Warm is perhaps not selling it well enough. Low 40s on Saturday get replaced by mid and upper 50s on Sunday. That's close to your records again, but it will be certainly warm for this time of year. Now, by the middle of next week, another storm system arrives. This is after a cold front Sunday night brings in chillier temperatures, so it will still have an opportunity to provide some wintry precipitation. Rain, maybe a bit of a wintry mix, and a little bit of snow before it exits, as it will be bringing in slightly cooler air. This slightly cooler air for the end of the week as another storm system develops gives us the opportunity for a bit more precipitation. By then, we could be seeing a rain or a rain-snow mix again, depending on the exact timing and track of the system. Now, of course, we are still several days away. We'll be keeping an eye on it as we get closer. But the overall picture is for conditions to favor a somewhat active weather pattern heading through the middle of February. This actually takes us into the second week, right before Thanksgiving. Valentine's Day, well, depending on your situation, it could be more Thanksgiving, but it is still favoring that wet pattern during that time frame.
Yeah, and that'll be kind of a nice change. It's been dry for a lot of January. Could be rain, could be snow. For us, of course, it'll be interesting to track it and see how it all pans out over the next couple of weeks.
Indeed, and hopefully we can sneak in some clear skies too, because there's always plenty to look at above our atmosphere, and that's what meteorologist Joe Winters features in this week's version of Beyond the Weather.
January's wrapping up, February's beginning, a perfect time to take a look at what we can see in the skies beyond the weather. Let's give you those things that you want to mark on your astronomical calendar. We'll update this from time to time. On February 28th, it's an alignment of 7 planets. There's a blood moon happening with a lunar eclipse on March 14th, March 18th through the 21st. We'll be talking more about this, the dual visibility of Venus. March 29th is a partial solar eclipse. We'll show you where that could be coming up in March. August 12th, the close approach of Venus and Jupiter. Saturn is at its best on September 21st, and November 3rd, the torrid meteor shower peak. Could be a great meteor show this year for 2025. This weekend, Saturday, February 1st, 2 things in the sky. West, southwest, very easy to find the moon. It'll be a waxing crescent moon, and then the bright object near it in the sky as we head into the evening hours, that will be the planet Venus. This is about a 9 o'clock picture, easy to spot off the horizon. Let's head to Monday, February 4th. Look at that, your southwest to southeastern sky. 4 planets that can be viewed with the naked eye, moon also involved. You'll see Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. Venus will be the brightest, and Mars will take on that reddish glow. Again, you'll be able to see the moon in that same line. Uranus and Neptune here as well, but again, not visible without some sort of aid, stronger binoculars, or a telescope. Beyond the weather for February 6th on Wednesday. Look at that, the moon pairing up again. Again, moon is a great target to find in your southeast sky. This time it'll be the planet Jupiter, very, very close to the moon, so you also can see a planet. Mars will be there as well, but Jupiter will be closer to the moon. Our moon phases as we move through the month. February 5th is our first quarter. Full moon comes up on February 12th. That's just a couple of days before Valentine's Day. The last quarter, February 20th, and our new moon happens on the 27th of the month. Now, if you want to see the International Space Station, a good opportunity comes up on Saturday at 5:43 in the afternoon. Visible for about 6 minutes. Maximum height is 43 degrees. It'll appear over the west-northwest and disappear over the south-southeastern sky. As far as viewing conditions, look good, and then moving away as we head into Saturday morning with the cloud cover we have in place. Saturday night into Sunday could provide some clear view, and you notice more clearing moving in Sunday into Monday. Upcoming rocket launches we'll want to watch February 3rd, February 26th, and throughout the month of February as well. The Falcon 9 rockets are launching, so lots of great things going on for you to watch as we watch the skies beyond the weather.
All right, we are kicking off a new month in just hours from now. Hard to believe January is already done, but February starts, and it starts off with a new outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. And it's actually favoring somewhat, at least, above normal precipitation. That would be a little bit of a change from January, which was pretty dry across much of the area, at least till last night. But a pretty good corridor here from the Great Lakes down toward the Ohio Valley of pretty strongly favored for above normal conditions in terms of precipitation, but the eastern 2/3 of the state of Iowa also included in that. So it's something to watch as we go forward. Now, as we go forward into the 9-day forecast, we will see a bit more precipitation, but not before a potential record-setting warm day on Sunday. Those highs getting well into the 50s. Iowa City, Waterloo, Dubuque, and Cedar Rapids all either within striking distance or explicitly forecast to pass those highs. Dubuque in particular may beat their record set in 1927 by quite a bit. Now, it's those two opportunities for precipitation next week that would be a bit of a change. Both carry the potential for some wintry precipitation if things come together just right. So we do want you to keep an eye on those two time frames, Wednesday and Thursday, as well as next Saturday. Those would be the opportunity that we could see a little bit of disruption potentially if the system does provide that wintry weather in terms of travel or what have you around those time frames. Still several days away, a lot of uncertainty surrounding that at this point. Stick with us. That's the promise we give to you, is that we always give you the latest we know.
Absolutely. And of course, to your point, those temperatures sitting there right there at freezing could swing one way, could swing the other. So like you said, keep you guys updated as we get closer to those time frames as those storm systems approach.
Yep, right on that razor's edge. But thanks for joining us tonight on First Alert Weather Now. We want you to have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday night.